fourth edition of the Aled Davies Memorial Tournament is fast approaching on the 27th of July, so a couple of weeks' time, and making a really welcome return to Pure West Sport to tell us all about it is Tom Davies. Tom, how are you?
Hi Ben, how are you? Good, thank you.
It's really good to hear from you again. And of course, last year, the competition took a year off, didn't it? And you're back for 2025 for the fourth time. And it's really good. And we're really pleased to have you on the show to tell us about it. For people who are listening and watching this evening, Tom, maybe we should go back to the beginning and tell us a bit about why you set up the Aled Davies Memorial Competition.
Yeah, no problem. Well, first of all, thank you for having me back. Well, Dad Aled passed away back in 2018, and as a family, we sort of always had a bit of an idea of creating a sort of a fund, a little pot of money where we would just put into ourselves and donate it once a year, maybe to like a local youngster, probably within the realms of cricket. And it kind of grew into something that we wouldn't have expected at the time. And it kind of merged with an idea that a couple of the boys had within Carew to get cricket back on during COVID. So the plan was to have Carew, Cristelli, Loreni in some sort of round robin tournament to get cricket back going locally. And we were approached if we'd fancy having it in memory of Dad. I sort of said, well, we'd had this idea about a fund, and next thing you know, here we are 4 years later with not a fully fledged charity, but not far off, where we've been able to donate quite a bit of money to various causes and trying to do a bit of good in Dad's memory, really.
We'll talk about the cricket in just a sec, but just on that amount of money you've raised since 2021, I think it's a great thing to highlight because it's a really impressive number, Tom. Just tell people who are watching and listening how much you've managed to donate over the last 4 years.
So we've donated just over £7,500. And we've donated to local clubs, football clubs and cricket clubs. We've donated to a couple of schools and just to local sports people, really. So cricketers, both young and old, to local footballers, to some gymnasts, and even sort of somebody who represented Great Britain, Cerys Morgan, who's from Sageston, in underwater hockey. So it's quite a varied sort of different activities in there, which we never really wanted it just to be cricket, because it can become quite sort of narrow, really. So yeah, we're just trying to do a little bit of good, really, as best we can.
And would you say, has that exceeded your expectation when you set that up? The fact you've donated that amount over the 4 years, that you must be so pleased with that and proud.
Yeah, very proud, and definitely exceeded anything that we ever expected, really. The support that we've had, both from people, buying raffle tickets in the build-up over the last few years, and even on the day. I remember the first event we had, and the cars around the far side in Carew were like too deep, and it was just, you had to kind of take a step back and just think, wow, we would never ever expected anything like that. It's great, it's nice for us as a family to think people are supporting us, because of Dad, really, and we can just use that to help as many people as we can.
Let me go to the guys in the studio. Fraser.
Yeah, you just said it is heartening for you as a family there, Tom, and I was actually going to come on to that. It's almost great for your dad's legacy to have this, that in his memory, that these, like you said there, it's not just a case of meeting up and having a game of cricket. It's actually financially benefiting and helping develop youngsters and charities elsewhere in the county. And it must be pleased that it shows perhaps the regard that he was held in, that teams have just bought into this every year, and you do get so much support and there is such a buzz around it.
Yeah, definitely. He'd probably hate the fact that I'm currently sat here talking to you guys, trying to promote something in his name. He'd be thinking, what are you doing? Like, get off. Because, that's just how he was. But, lots of people say that's how he was, which is probably why he's regarded as he is, and that's why we've had the support, and just the fact we can help so many people. One of Dad's, all the cricket and football that and he dabbled in a bit of rugby in his younger days that he played. Some of the the biggest pleasure he took was playing for the thirds in Carew, up on the top pitch, and just trying to help the youngsters come through the third team into the seconds and make it into the first team. Even Carew first now, there'll be boys that have played with Dad when they were, 11, 12, 13. And he took massive pleasure and pride in that more than anything that he, ever achieved or anything that, he did. He took great pleasure in telling me, but he would never sort of, broadcast any of his own achievements. So the fact that we can, we've had loads of, youngsters within the people that we've managed to help so far, and that's probably the most pleasing aspect.
And back onto your dad there, unfortunately I didn't cross paths with him much. He probably didn't play in a divisions low enough to play against me at the time, but I was well aware of his reputation, a very good cricketer, great club man at Carew, but as a good competitor and old school as well. So with that in mind, I have to ask, mate, what would he have made of all this 100-ball pyjama cricket nonsense?
Hated it, to be honest. He'd have been in his element watching the test match, going 5 days as it has in the last week. But he would have hated the fact that you get loads of charity events and fundraisers, don't you? And it's a bit of a a social game. So one of the things we've tried doing is making sure the cricket is strong and as strong as possible, and it's played properly, even though it's the 100, one of Gordon's favourites as well. He hated sort of friendly sport, he had no time for pre-season friendlies or anything.
Had to have an edge.
He would he'd much rather play in a do or die situation towards the back end of the season. Do you know what I mean? So
I'm one of the
he'd have laughed and shook his head probably.
Tom, I'm one of the fortunate people sitting here who has actually played against him, not so much on the cricket front, but on the football front. And I always remember him being very competitive in goal. Him and Harkey on the pitch at the same time. My God, you couldn't get a word in each other. You couldn't get a word in edgeways. No. There's no chance, and they were terrific characters. And what was even better, Tom, was going in the bar after and meeting the pair of them and having a few jars. Great character, mate. I'll always remember him for that as well. And fondly remember him because the game was so much different back then as well. They're old school characters, and your dad was definitely one of them. And he was really, really loved around the county, mate.
Oh, thanks, pal. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Let's come to this year's edition then, shall we, of the Aled Davies Memorial Tournament, 27th of July. So a week on Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the format for this year, Tom? Talk us through what's going to happen on the day.
So all 3 games are going to be on the main pitch in Carew. So we're sort of aiming for an 11 o'clock start for semi-final 1. 1:30-ish for semi-final 2. And the final then at about 4:30. We're going to have a raffle as normal, hoping to share an online raffle next week, and we'll have a raffle on the day. It's going to be £5 entry with under 16s for free, and we got quite a few event sponsors this year. We're doing things slightly differently. I know something you said earlier, Ben, off air is when along you go, you kind of find things you can maybe tweak here and there just to see how it goes. So at the minute, we've got 7 event sponsors. If I can reel them off really quick.
You can.
Steve at Cresselli Arms. We got Heatherton, Binding Sports Physio, Crossroads Garage in Begelly, Bullet Consulting, Capital Roasters, and Stuart Harris Electrical Services. Quite a lot of them have already helped us in the past, either with shirt sponsorship or program adverts. So it's great that they're supporting us again. And I dare say there'll be others hopefully in the next week or so that will come on board. Stevie Cole, Carew chairman and 13 captain, has become our ball sponsor.
Yeah, good guy.
He was really generous, to be fair to him. So all that's ongoing. That's a big help with the start of our fundraising, really. Raffle to come. Looking for some live music afterwards. If a radio station has got anything,
yes, noted. We've noted that.
Point us in the direction of. So it's going to be the 100 format again. The best thing about the 100 format on a day like this, Gord, I know you might be a bit like is the games only last 2.5 hours, and especially in the last year we had it, they actually finished before that. So when you're having to cram 3 games into one day, it actually works really well, which is why we've kept it.
That's why I love it, Tom.
On
that note, Tom, am I right in thinking it's a slight change of approach this year? Because previously, I believe you used the Castle pitch for you just talked about them for one of the semi-finals. Is that right?
Yeah, we did that for the first 2 years, mainly because we felt it would help with the timings. So you have 2 games going on, at the same time. So we didn't have to start as early. But we actually tried it all on the main pitch in the third year, so back in 2023. And to be fair, the feedback we had was, you've got to keep it all down here. It's great playing up on the top pitch. I suppose everyone who's been up there says how lovely it is up there.
Oh,
but
great ground.
Having played up there myself in the second year, I could see what other people were saying as you kind of felt out of it slightly. So
right.
It was brilliant. All down on the main pitch, So I dare say the bar will be full, or the bars will be full, because there'll be an outdoor bar as well. There'll be hot food on the go all day as well from Davis Butchers and Delis in Tenby. So they're going to help us out with that. So hopefully this will be another bumper day. We keep this nice weather that we've had.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And how seriously do the four sides take it? Obviously raising money for good causes, but once it gets going, Carew, Criselli, Loreni and Hook, they'll be wanting to do well on the day, Tom. Do they send decent strength sides along?
Yeah, they do. They support us really well, to be fair. Every year that we've been going, if you can tell me that any game involving Carew, Criselli, Loreni is going to be taken.
Not a friendly.
No. It doesn't matter what game. I think it could be darts or pool, and they'd still want to be beating each other. And it's great having Hook back. Hook and Langham in the first year were sort of combined, which might have been a bit, of an eyebrow raiser in some quarters because of their little rivalry. But Dad had great mates in both those clubs, so we couldn't really choose one over the other at the time. It just came around this year that we approached Hook, and they were delighted to come on their own, and I dare say that they'll bring a good squad out, and an even bigger squad off the pitch as well. And have a good day out. So hopefully we want the cricket to be strong. Like I said, Dad had no time for friendly cricket. It just adds to it. Then it makes better viewing if there's a close game. And boys are trying their hardest and going at it, isn't it? So
that's good.
Let me ask Gordon and Fraser then. Who over the 100 ball format? Who would you make favourites on the day this year? Obviously the draw's not been made yet, has it, Tom?
No, not yet. That's to be done in the next week or so.
It's a shame. You could have bought you could have bought some stuff. We could have done it live on the air. We love doing a draw on this show. We've done that before, haven't we?
Transparency then. As well.
Who would we say over the 100 ball format? Criselli, Carew, Strong?
Criselli will be the strong side to beat. My old side, Hook, will prove difficult to beat. So I think it'll be a Criselli Hook final. Well, just to wind you up now, Tom.
It's been interesting dynamic going in, because you've got Criselli and Carew battling for the lead title. But if you actually go back and look over this season, I think Criselli beat Carew comfortably in the Harrison Allen. Carew then beat them in the Dougie Morris semi-final. But Hook, of course, are the T20 champions in that competition as well.
It should be a good day, shouldn't it?
So, no, I'm not. I was. Well, my tip's been thrown because I was going to tip Carmarthen Wanderers, and I see they're not in. So I'll go. It'll be between Carew and Criselli, I think. But I wouldn't rule the others out either. And it is one of those formats where. And on that note, the players, it is a different format. And we joke about it. There's no other 100 competition in Pembrokeshire, which is perhaps a good thing for you because it keeps your day so unique. But how do they adapt? Is there any kind of issues with people adapting the rules or having to be reminded as you go along?
There's a little bit of reminding. It tests a few boys' counting skills. I think that's probably the problem with some of the boys that I know are playing. It does make you think a little bit differently, because you can bowl 5 or 10 balls from one person. So I could be bowling garden end and bowl my 5, and then there's a bit of a chat with the captain to say, right, do I carry on so it is a little bit of it's like a game of chess, I suppose, but it does make it interesting, especially if you've gone for a few sixes in the first 5 balls. There'll be some people that want to carry on, so and the bowler will want to be coming off. So it's good. It's really good. I've really enjoyed it. And I was probably a little bit skeptical when the 100 came in the professional game. Was probably sounding like my old man then, thinking, "Oh, what are they doing this for?" But it's still going. So.
It's runs, wickets, and catches, isn't it? That's what it's about.
Exactly.
I was actually skeptical till I attended one. One. And then you realise, look, if you look at it, perhaps it should be looked at. It's something.
It's
new.
Entertaining.
It's new. It's something new. It certainly brings in an audience, and it does test people's skills in different ways. As Tom pointed out, you you're bowling 10 balls on the trot, or sometimes 5. So, I think it is actually helpful. Anything that can be innovative and help develop players in any way, I think is helpful.
Yeah, I think there's space for all formats of cricket as long as you can get it into the fixture calendar. I think actually what the 100's done is really accessible. It's done wonders for women's and girls cricket as well in terms of participation. So I think I understand traditionalists find it difficult, but I just think there's space for all forms of cricket, and I actually hope the 100 does continue. And realistically, for a lot of sides, they need the money that the 100 generates to actually fund the county cricket game as well. So for the bad stuff it gets, I think it's really good. I think it's really accessible. I think you're going to have a brilliant day on the 27th of July, and you must be really pleased that you're kind of quite innovative, because it is the first time 100 ball cricket has been played in Pembrokeshire, and it's still going strong. So you're doing something right, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we're the Aled Davies Memorial, or the Aled Davies Memorial Fund, really, but it's great to be able to call the event the Aled Davies 100. Like, we can advertise it as that, and everyone literally just calls it the 100 or the AD 100. It's been shortened to now in various WhatsApp groups and things. So it's nice. I suppose it gives us, an identity or something like that, and people just, as soon as you say it, they know what you're talking about, which is really nice.
You said that the Wanderers aren't going, obviously, this year, Tom. One thing you haven't confirmed is, will you be appearing as a guest for anyone, mate?
Possibly. If it depends whether I'm selected or not.
There's no way you're playing for Cresselli.
I won't be doing that.
And you won't be helping out cook. So I think it may be Kieran.
I'd like to, yeah. To be perfectly honest, on a serious note, the last year that we did it, it became not the cricket to me with the playing. Actually, I didn't really think about it that much, because it tends to be little jobs to do here and there, and sometimes you think, it'd be easy if I didn't play and I could be doing that. But as long as we get some willing volunteers, I'm hoping to make an appearance if selected.
We've probably been hard here. We've thought Kerry, Grisselli, and Hook. You got Lorenny in there as Harrison Allen Bowl. World champions. So sorry, Bush.
Sorry, boys, we didn't mean to leave you out.
They're still every bit as dangerous in that format.
100%.
Very unlucky in Harrison Allen Bowl. They drew Carew first up. Otherwise, you fancy them going deep.
Tom,
No, I was just going to say but the bowl's been wide open, hasn't it? Lorenny, Kiri first round, then Kiri Cresselli, and then Cresselli Saundersfoot, and Saundersfoot win that. It's been blown wide open this year. Which I suppose is a good thing. Not necessarily as someone from Kiri with what's happened, but from a neutral point of view, it's
you're right.
You want to see
it's nice to see it spread around a bit.
As someone from Kiri, Tom, I know the club's obviously still very close to your heart, and they do have a big final coming up on Sunday in the Doug Morris against Saundersfoot, and obviously since going back up in 2018, I say going back up, we won't go into the circumstances of that now, but they have that 2017 title remains the club's last major title for the first year. It escapes me. Let's not do this now.
One day we are going to have to do this. Like we didn't have Pure West Sport back in 2018. I wish we did, but
when I'm gone, you can.
We'll have to revisit this as
Since then, Kerry have come close, especially last year, to a couple of league titles. There've been a Dougie Morris and a Harrison Allen final, and not won them. How important now is it that group, cements the progress and gets over the line in the final like this?
Really important to just be, blunt and direct in that answer. There's loads of talent in that team.
100%.
Batting and bowling.
And coming through actually as youngsters from the second.
Definitely. And there's been youngsters in the first team as well at various times this year, which is great, because it keeps the other boys on their toes. I just think it's just, to be perfectly honest, over the last couple of years or last few years, Neyland have been the outstanding team in the county. Going back 2 years, on a Thursday night, you could probably name what Neyland's team were going to be on the Saturday. Whereas, maybe I couldn't name Kirew's team, I couldn't name Cresselli's team. I just think there's a lot to be said for having consistent availability, and I think it's just a sign of the time with sport in general now, boys. At the minute, that in football terms, I can name Hakin's side and I can name Goodwick's side, but I can't tell you who's going to play, for Carew on the Saturday.
I know
availability is just so inconsistent at times, you know, and it's not just down here. It's, you know, I see it playing up in the league and playing in now with Marlin, and you know, there's always a couple out here and there at various times in the year. It's just this day and age, really. But if Carew played to their full potential, they should win. You know, Saundersfoot are notoriously a really dangerous side and a really tricky side to play. You know, Carew played down there on the weekend in the league, and so playing at Saundersfoot is a difficult place to go and play cricket because, you know, so short, square. All it takes is someone to get themselves in, and they can take the game away from you. You know, and Saundersfoot have got those players. But you know, Carew play to their full potential. You know, I'd back them every day of the week. I just hope that they play as they normally do, and don't, you know, think, you know, dare I say they're going into it as favourites, which maybe hasn't happened when they lost to Neyland last year.
No.
We just hope they don't think of that too much and put too much pressure on themselves. But I've got every confidence that they'll go and do it. And then that hopefully then is the start of a few years of, you know, winning silverware. It's just the hardest one is the first one, isn't it?
Sure.
It is.
Well, listen, Tom, it's great to catch up with you once again, and I hope it goes really well on the 27th and lots of people come along. People need to just keep an eye out on social media for details on the raffle, because I think that's going to go up later on this week, isn't it?
Yes, please, either later this week or the start of next week. Our Facebook, Instagram and Twitter will start kicking into gear, really, with various bits of information. The online raffle being one of them, with the main one, really. So it's our biggest fundraiser, or has been, over the years that we've been going. So if people can share away and you know, click any links that are put up, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, well, listen, good luck with it. You're doing a phenomenal job, and the money you've donated is just so impressive. So good luck for the 27th. I hope it goes really well. We hope you get a game as well, Tom, of course. As the organiser, I think you really should. But I think your dad would probably say, well, only if you justify a place in the team based on what you're telling.
I bowl a load of rubbish on Saturday. It might not happen. So
I hope it goes really well, and we will, of course, check back in with you to find out how much you managed to raise on the day and how it all goes. All the best. Thank you for your time this evening. We are going to come back for the final part of tonight's Pure West Sport in just a few moments.
Pure West Sport Show, sponsored